Hey everyone, and welcome to day 16 of my horror movie review marathon, and I've got your Suspiria 2018 movie review. There's something dark that has taken over a dance studio. But how dark is it? So as far as the story goes, this remake of the 1977 horror film is even more ambitious, grotesque, and bold when you have a woman looking to join a dance studio in Berlin, only she finds out there's something strange and unexplainable happening to her and around her. Now, I saw and reviewed the original Suspiria last year from my horror review series, and I was so impressed, yet really terrified to watch this movie because of just how different it was, and in a good way. When you had Dario Argento directing this, however, this time you have Luca Guadagnino, who does a great job directing this movie, and it almost feels like a pretty good, if you were to side by side these two movies, you can definitely tell that there are a lot of similar things as well as a few added things. And I could tell that this movie was a little bit longer than the original, which was kind of expected, but man, it was a lot to take in, and I'm still shooketh after watching this movie. It is just so insane because the story is pretty much the same, but maybe a few different things to add to the more modern take on this movie. Now, as far as the casting goes, I was really impressed with how many well-known actors were in this movie, starting with the lead, Dakota Johnson, who really impressed me in this movie, considering I feel like I had never seen her in a horror role just like this, and she played it off brilliantly, and especially towards the end was where my jaw dropped to the floor. You've got Tilda Swinton, who plays the lead dance instructor, and she is just so intense to watch, but I already know how she can act on screen. She's just so amazing. You've got other supporting actresses, Mia Goth, Chloe Grace Moretz, and they are also sometimes freaky to watch on screen, but I was actually really surprised by Angela Winkler as Miss Tanner, and I thought the original Miss Tanner was crazy. This one, is top-notch and ups the ante, because she's just so terrifyingly good, and pretty much all the other ladies in this movie that work there were also creepy as hell. Now, the things that I liked about this movie was that from the cinematography to the sound design, I mean, the atmosphere of this movie really just feels so dark and gritty, and it made my skin crawl. I mean, it's no surprise that I'm still thinking about this movie as I speak, and it just puts me on edge. And this is actually the second time that I watched this movie, so I kind of forgot everything that happened the first time, so I was glad to be surprised a little bit more this time around, and it really got my heart racing, and I was just so full of anxiety watching this movie. And I feel like I had seen similar movies that made me feel this way, but I feel like this sort of took it up a notch too. Especially with the disturbing imagery that just makes me want to cover my eyes. And I feel like at one point I did, as well as probably scream watching this. And the camera work was so nauseating, but it was good, and it felt like it was an interpretive dance in itself. And the third act literally felt like an out-of-body experience for me. And there was definitely gore that made me scream as well, and it was a nail biter to the very end, to the very last scene. But unfortunately, the things that I didn't really like about this movie was that the 2.5 hour runtime kind of made this movie feel dragged down, because yes, there are some slow moving scenes, and I did get bored at one point, but as soon as the freaky stuff comes on, I mean, I don't even know what to say other than I just truthfully wanted it to all come to an end. So overall, I would say that I was actually really impressed with this movie, especially since I did see the original first and then I saw this movie. So I really liked being able to enjoy both movies for different reasons. So I would recommend seeing this movie, but it is not for the faint of heart. So you've been warned. So I would give this 4 hearts on the heart rate scale. So let me know in the comments what you guys thought of Suspiria 2018. And come back tomorrow for day 17 of my horror movie review marathon. And as always, you guys can subscribe to my channel. I've got more movie reviews, movie updates. Come back every week for a Trail Thursday video. You guys can also like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter. And I will see you guys later.